Hello. I hope you've had an opportunity to watch our Parish Eucharist and have now settled down to listen to this short talk. But before I address the Gospel for the day and its implications, I just want to issue a little word of warning. I see from the newspapers that the rate of infection per 100,000 people in St Albans has had a dramatic increase. I just want to remind you, please, still to be vigilant, still to wash your hands as often as possible, to try and do social distancing, terrible expression that, physical distancing, and please wear a mask. It won't protect you, but if you unfortunately have the virus, it will protect other people. Anyway, down to business. You will have heard today's Gospel passage about the parable of the sower and the seed. Well, I'm sure it's all far too familiar, but in order to bring it back to life and make you think about it again, I want to share with you what brought it back to life for me this week. During the pandemic, I have had the privilege of being able to celebrate the Eucharist daily, something I used to do but haven't been able to do for quite some time. When the bishop gave permission for a priest to be able to celebrate without a congregation, I was able to claim the privilege once more, and now that we are open for public and private prayer, I can have a couple of people present for the Eucharist in the morning, again physically distanced with all the things in place, but it does feel right and proper. And to be able to offer the Eucharist for you and for all those dealing with COVID-19 is a real privilege. Anyway, back to the text. The sower and the seed, the thorns, the stony ground, the good ground. You've heard it all before. But during this week at one of those Eucharists, we had a reading from the prophet Hosea, which contained these lines. Sow integrity for yourselves, reap a harvest of kindness, break up your fallow ground. Even if you are fortunate enough to be the good soil in which the seed of faith has fallen, and you are able to bring forth the fruits 100-fold, 60-fold, 30-fold, each of us still has our own piece of fallow ground, somewhere that our faith has yet to touch. That's what we, as practicing Christians, have to do. We have to look for the fallow ground where our faith has yet to bear fruit. And those are difficult places. It's like the parable of the person who came to Jesus and said, "What must I do to inherit the kingdom?" And he was doing all the right things. And Jesus gave him one more thing to do. Sell all that you have and give to the poor and follow me. And the man went away downcast because he was a wealthy man and couldn't bring himself to do it. That was his piece of fallow ground. I'm sure if you give time during this coming week, you too will discover pieces of fallow ground, places where your faith has yet to take root. I know that having read this on Wednesday of this week, I have thought again and again of places in my life where there is fallow ground that I must break up and prepare it to receive the seed of faith. I'd like you to do the same if you would. And I'm sure it will bear fruit that will last. I hope you have a good and safe week. Goodbye.